Elon Musk is becoming more and more clearly a Republican these days. So Elon Musk yesterday, he was ripping on the Democratic Party for its policy on unions, which of course is true. They are in hock to unions that have been basically paying the bills for Democratic campaigns for generations at this point. Here's Elon Musk.
What does it feel like to have that experience where the party you supported won't even say the name of your company or invite you there? They should be celebrating the work you're doing.
The issue here is that there's just the Democratic Party is overly controlled by the unions and by the trial lawyers, particularly the class action lawyers.
I mean, obviously that is true. Obviously that is 100% true. And the left tries to pretend that that's not true, but the reality is the reason that they support the unions is because the unions support them. It's the most openly corrupt bargain in American politics. You have Democrats in power. They sign really, really lucrative contracts with unions. The unions then spend money to elect those Democrats. It's the most corrupt thing ever. Elon Musk, by the way, announced that he was switching from Democrat registration or independent registration to Republican. He says, quote, "I voted overwhelmingly for Democrats historically. Like, I'm not sure I might never have voted for a Republican, just to be clear. Now this election, I will." Well, that makes some sense considering how the Democrats have been going after Elon Musk. Speaking of which, great irony has now arrived in the form of Twitter trying to force Elon Musk into keeping his end of the deal. So Elon Musk announced yesterday or a couple of days ago that he might not go through with the Twitter buyout. He announced this because it was pretty obvious that he was overpaying. I mean, frankly, it looks like a bargaining position. And he had said he was going to pay $54.20 per share. And then he had Twitter over a barrel. Because again, Twitter is currently valued at like $38 a share. And so he had them over a barrel because the minute he says he's not buying it at $54.20, the bottom falls out of the price. And that's precisely what you have been seeing over the course of the last couple of months. And if you look at the price for Twitter shares, as of May 5th, it was $50.36, right? Close to his buyout price. If you look at the Twitter shares today, yesterday, it over the course of the last couple of days, it dumped from $45 on May 12th down to $37 on May 16th. And that is because he's now in complete control of the Twitter stock price. He says that he may cancel the deal because there may be too many automated accounts, too many bots on Twitter. And so what he's paying for is actually just a bunch of bots. Now, Musk had this very funny clip yesterday where he was talking to an audience about this, and here's what he had to say.
The number of real, unique humans that you see making comments on a daily basis on Twitter is above 95%. That is what they're claiming. Does anyone have that experience? Exactly.
Okay, so everybody knows, of course, that Twitter has a ton of bots on it, a lot of fake accounts on Twitter. Everybody knows this. He is saying that you've been reporting to the SEC over and over that you have 5% of your accounts are fake or bots, and actually it's way higher than that. Now, what he's really attempting to do here is cudgel the price down on his buyout offer. And he has the power to do this because even if he walks away from the deal, the punishment is basically $1 billion. But to Elon Musk is worth $240 billion. What does he care? He pays the $1 billion breakup fee. And for that threat, he may get to lower the price of Twitter from, say, $44 billion to $37 or $38 billion. In a tweet on Tuesday, Musk said, quote, 20% fake spam accounts, 4 times what Twitter claims, could be much higher. My offer was based on Twitter's SEC filings being accurate. Said yesterday, Twitter's CEO publicly refused to show proof of 5%. This deal cannot move forward until he does. According to one professor who follows this sort of stuff over at Boston College, Brian Quinn, it is clear that Musk is trying to walk away from the deal or at least to cudgel the price down. He says that this doesn't make sense because not only has Twitter disclosed the uncertainty of its estimates for years, the company gave him the opportunity to engage in due diligence and kick the tires and look around. Musk did not take up that offer. Twitter declined to comment. But Musk is really playing with them. Now, yesterday, he spent a lot of the day in a Twitter back and forth with Parag Agrawal, who's the current CEO. Agrawal posted a series of tweets explaining the company's efforts to fight bots. And Musk responded with a poop emoji. So all of this is to say that Musk really, really, really has them by the short hairs here. I mean, they really have trouble here. Twitter is now trying to enforce the merger, according to Axios. So we went from Twitter desperately did not want Musk to buy them to Twitter desperately wants Musk to buy them now because their stock is in freefall. Twitter's board said on Tuesday it plans to close the transaction and enforce the merger between Musk and Twitter, according to the New York Times. Twitter's board said in a statement to the Times, quote, the board and Musk agreed to a transaction at $54.20 per share. We believe this agreement is in the best interest of our shareholders. We intend to close the transaction and enforce the merger agreement. Twitter's board urged shareholders in a regulatory filing on Tuesday to vote in favor of the deal. Musk does have a contractual obligation to buy Twitter at the agreed price, but he could also just pay that $1 billion fine and then walk away. So again, it looks more like Musk is just messing around with the price here because he's got Twitter over a barrel than that he's really concerned that deeply over the fake users. Meanwhile, maybe what he's really worried about is the fact he's going to take over a company where everybody hates his guts. So Veritas, Project Veritas, they came out with some audio and video of a Twitter engineer basically openly acknowledging they hate Elon Musk and that they censor people they don't like.
Ideologically, it does not make sense, like, because we're actually censoring the right, not the left. Because everyone on the right wing will be like, bro, it's okay to say, you just gotta tolerate it. The left will be like, no, I'm not gonna tolerate it. I need it censored, or else I'm not gonna be on the platform. So it does serve the right. It's true, there is a bias. But it is what it is today.
Right, so in other words, the right is tolerant of the left is intolerant of the right, so we censor the right in order to create balance. Pretty amazing stuff there from Project Veritas. Again, they're not journalists. The only real journalists are the people who just carry around a drool bucket for Joe Biden. Who's got two thumbs and wants you to like and subscribe?